Hey everybody, this is Mike, and I want to go through a sketchbook just to kind of bookend the end of the year. Just go through some artwork that I've done throughout the last little while. This book is a little bit older, but it took me about 2 years to go through all this stuff. So you see a lot of different styles, different mediums, kind of working through this. The first thing here is a cool little alien, and I developed that for a client's project that I was working on. I was doing a book illustration. I don't know if you can see this here or not, but that's kind of how it wound up being. You can see the original piece kind of was a little bit phallic at the top, and when I developed that, my wife is like, yeah, you might want to change that for the client because I'm not sure they're going to go along with that. And I submitted it the way it is here, and of course they were like, yeah, that's a little phallic, so I just changed it and kind of squared off the head a little bit and added a horn up there, but it turned out pretty neat. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's just an old yearbook illustration I did for a book company, but pretty cool. What do you think about him? He's cool?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I love it.
What do you like about it?
Just everything.
Just everything. Sitting with me is my 4-year-old Dakota, who is a budding little artist, as she calls herself. So she's going to kind of help me go through this book. An important part about this drawing right here is about 2.5 weeks before this piece of art, I had busted my right hand. I got a boxer's fracture, and I'm a righty, so my hand was in a cast, so I could not illustrate this with my right hand. So I did it with my left side. So it's a little wonky. The detail is not where I would have liked it. But when you're an illustrator and you can only illustrate with one hand, you just do it. This is done with Copic and some, this was charcoal on the outside of this. I was wondering if it was graphite or not, but this one was charcoal. And I just use an eraser to kind of get some negative space in there. It's just something I was doing quite a bit at the time. Here's another one. Who's this, Coda?
Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein. You like Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of goofy here, isn't he?
Yeah.
I did this with my left hand, same thing with Copic, and I tried a different cloud effect up here, but this time was with graphite, and I think I liked being able to push the graphite around a little bit better than the charcoal, which seems to stick in spots. This kind of was a little bit smoother, so I did quite a bit of graphite around this time. Here's another one. Who's this?
Harry Potter.
You like Harry Potter?
Yeah.
He's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
This is done with my left hand as well, and it didn't turn out exactly the way I had hoped. But I did kind of experiment with this little smoke effect around the outside, little comic styling, and I kind of like that, so I use that a little bit going through the book. Here's a demon I did with my left hand. Not bad. Someday I'll go back and redraw these with my right and see if I can make them a little bit better. I hope so. Charcoal, this is graphite and some Copic. This, I was reading a Chris Hart humongous book of cartooning at the time, and I wanted to work on the smoke effect a little bit more, and just wanted to take a monotone drawing because I really love black and white. People have asked me about that. How come you do everything in black and white, but you could add so much color to it and be cooler? I just like black and white. I think it's fun. Yeah, maybe it's easier than color, but that's not why I do it. I just like the look of grayscale. Anyways, I wanted to add just a little bit of color over the grayscale just to kind of make it pop a little bit. Not very successful, but with the left hand, that you gotta do what you gotta do. Here's a piece with my new fresh minted bones in my right hand. So I got the cast off, and it was right around Thanksgiving of 2016. And I just kind of put a wild turkey together. Kind of fun. You notice down here sometimes you don't have to always illustrate every part of a drawing. Your brain knows how to fill in that space a little bit. So I was just kind of working with just kind of letting the bottom die out a little bit, and kind of, you know what's there, you know it's supposed to be there, but your eye tends to focus on the right spot. So that worked out well, I think. Fun little character. One of my favorites that I've done, I really like the Grinch. You know that's the Grinch, right?
Yeah.
What color is the Grinch usually?
Green.
Yeah. Do you like him this color or you like him green?
Or both.
Yeah, see, some people just want to see color. Anyways, so I added a little bit of color to the eyes, but my main focus here was trying to get as much personality out of the Grinch from a bust shot by just utilizing his hands the most, and I feel like that worked out pretty well. I really like what I did with the hands there. And moving on, me and my wife went to Denver to go check out a stage play of A Christmas Story, and the Jacob Martley character was so cool. And when I got back into town, I figured I'd illustrate him a little bit. I thought that was kind of fun. Everybody's favorite characters from the movie Home Alone. Do you know who those guys are?
The bad guys.
The bad guys. That's the Wet Bandits, isn't it? They're
Yeah.
really cool. Which one's your favorite?
I'm gonna guess it's.
I like him. He screams really funny, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like them too.
Okay, cool. All right, let's moving on. Little Copic there. This is a scary snowman. I
Yeah.
call him Jack Frost the Ripper. It's kind of neat. Had fun with the colors on that one. Just exploring different colors on this tanned gray paper, seeing how I can make it pop. This right here, to me, is kind of the epitome of a sketchbook. A lot of people get mad or complain about artists that finish their pieces in a sketchbook because it's called a sketchbook, not an illustration book. I disagree. I like to just finish my pieces. It makes me kind of anxious if I don't. But anyway, I did a little hand exploration here, just trying to figure out different shapes of the wrist going into the fingers, and yeah, kind of fun. This right here is really terrible, but again, that's the whole point of a sketchbook. But I did that because I was working out a project for a client. Here's the book here, where it's just this nice book illustration, the cover. I was going to have that pirate up in the top here, but I ended up going with a little boy. That's what the client wanted anyway. And this character might be in the book somewhere here, but on the cover, I didn't use him. So that's all it was just trying to get some thematic clothing and just try to get the book kind of the theme together. So just a sketch. This right here is an alien. I love aliens. I think we were already in the next year, so I was out of Drawloween. And usually when I get done with like holiday sketching, I like to draw a lot of holiday stuff, I start going into aliens for some reason. So this is one of the aliens. Somebody made a comment on Instagram about this looking like Gene Simmons, which I thought was kind of funny because it does. This is funny. Do you know what this is, Dakota?
No.
No, it's a germ. And at the time I had a really bad flu, and it seemed like I went from having a chest cold to, digestive issues, and I had all these issues just going on for like a month straight. And to me, this was the amoeba or the virus or the bacteria that was causing all the ruckus in my body. So I thought it was kind of funny. Who's that?
Frankenstein.
Man, your dad loves to draw Frankenstein, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I like Frankenstein quite a bit. And this was just another look at him, just more of a cartoon style. I like taking scary things like that and just kind of making them have some fun, a little happy. This is just a little exploration on doing pencil on the inside or graphite on the inside and trying to do some marker on the outside, just something I was doing at this time a little bit. I was really getting into graphite and seeing how I can play with graphite with white gel pen on the gray, and that's kind of the result. Kind of cool. That was just a sketch that I never finished or really started. Here's another full graphite piece that I had done, just a vampire. And you can see I was just trying to be real subtle with it. What if, normal people walking around the street were vampires, and what would they look like? And I think that's what one would look like. This one was fun because it was a piece that I had started on. I designed the fish here, and I had the string hanging, and I didn't have the hook on there yet, and I could not figure out what I was going to put on the fish hook until I talked to my daughter who's sitting over here, Dakota. And what did you tell me to put on the fish hook?
Pizza.
A piece of pizza, probably because you had pizza for lunch or something, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of cute that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of your pizza fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just a fun little marker piece. I think the wife and I had went and watched the new Star Wars in 2017, and just kind of inspired me to draw something mechanical like that. And I think at this stage I was getting over the pencil, but starting to get into blending different color families with the Copics. It's easy to blend like green into yellow or a light green into a dark green, but when you start getting into the opposite on the color wheel, like a green into a purple, it makes it a lot more difficult. So I was trying to explore that a little bit here. Doesn't work great on toned paper, and here's another example of that, trying to go from yellow into reds. I mean, still warm colors, but it's not that easy developing those gradients, and I just was kind of working that out a little bit here with a cool little devil. Here's something different. I wanted to get away from doing the different color families and stay within the same color family and just do something a little more monochromatic. Of course, experiment with the hands because that's Nosferatu's kind of signature, that and the teeth. Anyway, so I just did red Copics here, and I wanted to do a base coat of with gray marker. For a long time, I was using the same color family to do shading. So if I was doing red, I would use dark red dots because that's the shade for it. But I started to explore what happens if I did an under painting or under drawing first with base coats of gray and then start laying red on top of that gray and see how that would work out. And this was in 2017, this is a couple years ago, and to this day I still use that technique heavily. So that's something I like. Another cool little, what is that?
Robot.
It's a robot, isn't it? So same thing here, just a fun little character design. What is that?
A monster.
It is? Is that what you look like in the morning?
No.
No? Is that what Daddy looks like in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it does. That's just some fun little Copic monster work that I like to do. Again, working on different opposite sides of the color wheel. Oh, who is that?
A witch.
That is a witch. I think we had watched... actually, we went on a Disney cruise not long before that, and the witch from the Snow White in one of the plays kind of looked like this, so I thought I'd sketch her when I go back to my room, and that's what she came out like. I don't know what that is, just some monochromatic. I think the last few pages are a little bit more horror related, so I'm guessing that this is around Halloween time and probably doing Drawloween last year. So who knows, I think, matter of fact it was, and I think the word for this drawing was lumps, so I just drew a bunch of lumps on his face. This one was clown, I believe, and just a little reimagination of what a clown would look like. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Is there a better word for that?
No.
You don't think so? Okay. Once again, this is a illustration I had done to work out some characters for the Alien book that I had showed earlier. I don't know if you can see any of that here. He's not on the cover, but within the pages, he's somewhere in there. It's a yearbook illustration I did for a client, but somewhere in this book lies that cool little character. I don't see him, but he's in there. So as I move on, we're getting back into the Christmas holiday of 2017. Just a cool little snowman. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. Just something, I get artist block sometimes, and I'll just draw whatever comes to my hands anyway. This one's a real favorite of mine. I don't always do full body shots. I like the personality that I can try to get from like the elbows up or from the bust up, because it really forces you to work the expression in the face. But when I do things from like the elbow up, then I get to utilize the hands to kind of work in some personality, and I really like the way that I get the sinister look of his hands. I don't know what he's up to. He had some too much alcohol or something in his eggnog. I have no idea what he's up to, but I think the hands really help the personality here. So yeah, fun little piece.
Dad, that's my favorite.
That's your favorite too? Yeah, maybe because we just got past Christmas. No. Again, Christmas is gone, so back to aliens, because that's just what I do. This is a fun little piece. I think I saw a sculpture online somewhere. I don't know if it's a direct, if I was looking at the sculpture as I did this, or just kind of what I remembered it looked like or something like that, or inspired by it. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I did this one, but definitely a cool piece. I just love working grayscale, especially on gray paper, because the white just pops so much. But fun little piece, and you can see on the edge I kind of get some personality. I don't know what that is, some eggs or something from their species kind of growing on the outside. Fun piece though. And I think that's it. I think I started a new book. Yeah, I must have messed with this a little bit with Copic, but not very successful. But so there's that. Thanks for watching.